All right, I think maybe I figured it out. So I apologize, everybody. Zoom changed their settings here, and uh, it was a mess. But I think I figured it out now. Uh, I said I apologize for that, but hope everybody's having a good Wellness Wednesday. Glad that you could be here. We'll just give it just a couple minutes. I know I was a little bit late logging on, so there may be some folks going to come back around and be able to join us. I know I had some technology issues last week with the microphone, uh, but it looks like it's working good now, and I hope that everybody can hear me out there. Like I said, just give it a couple minutes. You might remember that we wanted to get to an activity last week about having a pen or pencil and paper ready. So if you've got something nearby, or maybe you need to get up and go get a writing utensil and a piece of paper, that'd be good if you could do that. We're gonna get into that activity today and be able to look at some things. We're gonna do an evaluation. I don't want to say too much about it right now, but we're eventually going to get into it since last time we weren't able to do it. So right now is a good time if you want to go ahead and get you something to write with and a piece of paper out, maybe even a couple pieces of paper, because like I said, we want to go through this evaluation. And before that, we do that, we want to stay true to the name, like I like to say. Practicing the pause, and maybe you're at a place right now, having a stressful situation, or you just need just to take a breath, right? I know I needed to do that when Zoom changed their settings on me here. I was trying to figure it out, and man, it's I don't like the new settings, but hey, sometimes that's the way things happen in life, right? It kind of just throws different things at us, and we just have to meet it head on. But I think I was able to figure it out, and hopefully I can save those settings. But uh, like I said, we're going to need something to write with, and maybe a couple sheets of paper. So if you can grab those, that'd be great. And we're going to stay true to the name here. So I'll give you just a minute to go ahead and get the things that you need and kind of settle back down. I'm going to get to my share screen here and share what I need to share here with you all. Like I said, hopefully you're having a good Wellness Wednesday there. I love Wellness Wednesday because I love the name, and I love that it falls in the middle of the week. Because I believe Wellness Wednesday is really looking to create balance, and we're right there in the middle of the week, Hump Day, right? We're almost over the hump. A couple more days and it'll be the weekend, but we want to stay present here in the day. But Wellness Wednesday really can help us to do that. It can really get us back to recentering and be grounded where we want to be, we can be our best self. Really, I think by staying in the present and being mindful of what we're doing, and just kind of aware of what we're feeling, and our whole headspace, where we're at, mentally and emotionally, and all those things. So I think this is a good reminder to have it here at the middle of the week on Wellness Wednesday. So thanks again for joining, and this might be your first time. Maybe you're returning, and you've taken a couple of these sessions here before. You've joined us here on Wellness Wednesdays. Welcome back. And for those who are just joining, I am Philip Boyce. I am a peer navigator at the R3 Recovery Center here in Wilkesboro, and we really look at wellness and try to practice wellness in our lives. And it's important to take a pause. So I'm glad that you're here to practice your own well-being and self-care, and hopefully you can learn something today here. And I think it's a good time to join. And like I said, I want to stay true to the name of practicing the pause, and how I like to do that is by being grounded, by practicing a breathing technique. Maybe you've never done it. You never really focused on the breath, and just take time to be still, and kind of uh, quiet yourself, and be grounded, and that's what I like to do to begin with, is so we can just kind of relax, and be in the present moment, and kind of settle ourselves down, and be centered. And so uh, to do that, I invite you now to find a good quiet place. I like to kind of sit up tall, so if you're can find somewhere comfortable and relaxing to sit. You can sit up tall, find a place that's quiet where you can kind of free yourself from distractions. So, I like to, invite folks to turn off their phone, turn off any TV or any devices that might distract you. Maybe if there's some folks that are, in the rooms next to you, or whatever, if you can just kind of tell them that, hey, you're going to take this time just to kind of quiet yourself and to center yourself. Uh, it's really good to do. I think it's good for not only our physical self, for our health and things like that, but also for our all of wellness. And we're going to look a little bit more into that, what wellness really encompasses as we move forward. But again, I invite you to find a nice quiet place, sit up tall, sit up straight, uh, free yourself from distractions. And then I like to invite folks to just begin breathing, uh, and be aware of the breath. To do that, I ask that you would just breathe slowly. Let's do that together. Let's breathe. Inhale through the nose. Nice slow breath, nothing forced, right? Nice slow, even breath in through the nose, and then out through the mouth. Let's do that again. Let's just really concentrate on our breath, breathing in through the nose, and nice, steady, smooth exhale there. And sometimes, when I'm really stressed, it just feels good to breathe and just that exhale, and you might want to, if you're really stressed or whatever it is, you might want to, just you can make a sound as you breathe out, oh, just a release there, Just be present with your breath. Again, a nice, slow, even inhale, and then a calm release there in the exhale. Let's just stay with the breath for a minute. Let's continue to do that. Nice, even inhale through the nose, and then exhale. Like I said, nothing forced. It's nice and smooth. Again with the inhale. Nice, smooth, calm inhale, in breath. And then just release it. And like I've said in the past, what I like to do is I want to focus on the goodness. I want to, inhale, the positive. Maybe you can think of gratitude, what you're thankful for, in the in breath. And then maybe some of the worries, anxieties, the demands of the day, you can release there on your exhale. Just be mindful of the breath as you do that. Again, inhale, nice, slow, steady, calm in breath, and then a nice, slow, steady exhale, out breath. I want you to let your energy settle. All the tensions of the day. I just want you to be present here. I want you to anchor your attention to the breath. I want you to stay mindful of the breath as we do this together. In breath, and out breath. And just think of everybody that, might be logged on here, might be tuning in, that we're all, practicing the pause together. There's that power of connection, I believe, of us all doing that together. And I want to invite you to, if you're feeling some of that stress in your body and your shoulders, maybe just kind of move your shoulders around. Nothing too fast, right? You don't want to hurt yourself. Just nice, smooth circles there, with your shoulders. We just want to relax here. We want to be present. You might want to do some slow, small circles there, with your neck. I slept wrong a couple nights ago. Man, my neck was really, really tense. I could really, feel it in there. So we don't want to do anything too fast with these motions. Just, you can kind of, let's put your head up there to the sky when you're moving, and then kind of brush your chin there up against your chest. Just like I said, small, slow circles there. And then again, go back to the other way there. So if you start to the left, move to your right. And then, like I said, you can kind of even do some small circles there with your shoulders. And that's what we want to do. We really want to, let go of some of that tension. We want to let go of some of that stress. Just kind of move around just a little bit, but then still be present with your breath as you're doing this. So, you want to take in that in breath and then the out breath as you're, slowly moving around. Still be present and aware of your breath, and watch the breath as you're breathing with the sense of loving all that you're here, you're alive, you're in the present, and we're getting into this wellness state, a nice place of relaxing and calm. And so I want you to, as you're breathing, continue with your breath, be aware of your breath, and I want you to feel just the gentle rise and fall of the body. And last time I haven't mentioned there's a practice that we can do where we can put our hands on our chest, right? So you might want to take your left hand and put it on your chest here, and put the other hand on your belly, and really feel the gentle rise and fall of the body as you breathe, as the body breathes itself. So put your hand there, on one hand on the chest and the other one on the belly, and just feel the breath. Let yourself drop into the state of being rather than doing. Uh, like I mentioned before, we're human beings, not human doings. Rather than human doings, we're human beings. And right now, we just want to be present. We want to just be. We want to be right here in the moment with our breath. And so, feel your chest and your belly as you begin to breathe in. Just be present with the breath right here, right now, and watch your breath. Watch your breath as you breathe in. And as we begin focusing on our breath, our minds might begin to wander. You might be thinking about some of the stuff that you need to be doing. Our bodies. It seems like it's always in a state of motion, and so it can really kind of feel awkward when we're just taking time out for ourselves. But it's so important to practice self care and take this time out for ourselves to practice the pause. And so, as we're focusing on our breathing, a lot of times our mind will want to race and kind of tug at us about other things we need to be doing or whatever it is. But we need to relax our mind, and by being aware of our breath, it can help us to do that. And our minds, are always going to be, constantly kind of thinking of these thoughts, and these thoughts are going to arise. That's because the mind is energy, and it's always at play. And so today, I invite you just be present with your breath, and as you notice these thoughts, just kind of watch them from a distance. They're going to come, they're going to enter your mind. Just recognize, know that they're there, right? But watch them as from a distance. That you're not your thoughts, but you're just a witness to these thoughts. And so as these thoughts will enter your mind, just come back to your breath. Remember, come back to the in breath. You're breathing in, constant mindfulness with your breath. This in breath, slowly inhale, and then again continue to exhale. Just slow and a calm breath there. And so, I mentioned before, as these thoughts will come, just think of them as like a dead leaves going down a stream. You recognize that they're there, but just let them go on by. Just let them go on by. Don't build a narrative around them. Just come back to your breath. Come back to your breath. In breath and out breath. Just let these thoughts go. Just let them be, and just remain aware of the breath as the thoughts do their thing. Avoid chasing and following and attaching to the thought. Avoid trying to stop the thoughts or push them away. Just remain aware of the breath. Be aware of this state of being, not doing. Just be. Let's just be here in the present with other folks, hopefully, who are tuned in here, all being mindful of our breath, being aware of our in breath, slow in breath, and then gentle out breath, exhale. Continue to breathe in, breathe out. I want you to remain present right here, right now with your breath. Just continue to breathe in, slowly release, breathe out. We want to be right here in the present, practicing the pause. Again, one more breath in, and a slow out breath. Hopefully that's helped you. You feel a little more relaxed now. You feel a little more centered and grounded. And right now, what I want to do is just go through a recap of what we've gone through last time. Just slowly, just kind of touch on some of these points here. Uh, we looked at SAMHSA's wellness initiative that envisions a future in which people with mental and substance abuse or substance use. I'm not sure. Yeah, they got substance use there. Right on. We were talking about that the other day about language matters and the importance of language. And someone there at the R3 Center said that language is fluid, and we want to use right language. And so instead of substance abuse, we say substance use. Right. So it's I'm glad SAMHSA has this there in their vision. There, they don't have it in their name, but they have it in their vision. And this is what they envision here is a future in which people with mental and substance use problems pursue health, happiness, recovery, and full satisfying life in the community. And so that's what we want to do with this wellness is, we want to be on that pursuit of pursuing health and happiness and recovery and a full satisfying life and community. It's really about quality of life, how we're living. And that's what we're looking at here today. And each individual path will be different. Here you see me, and one of the things I like to do for practicing my wellness is to get out into nature. Nature really helps me. When I can get to the woods, maybe go for a hike, and just be right. I want to be present and mindful of my awareness, and just kind of go for a walk in the woods. And I like to breathe out in the open, fresh air. And just go for a walk, and it really helps not only physically but mentally. And so, what we look at here with these wellness dimensions, which we look at here, you see these 8 dimensions of wellness here, is that they're all interdependent. Right. So when I go for a walk, in the woods, it's good for my physical wellness, which you see that on this 8 dimensions of wellness, what we call a wellness wheel. It's good for my physical, but it's also good for my emotional. Because when I walk, I feel better. I think clear. I can kind of let things go a little bit easier. I don't feel as stressed. It's also good for spiritual. I really feel a connection there. When I'm outside walking in nature. For an environment. It's good to change environment and be in a good environment where I can find quiet and solitude and peace. It's good for intellectual because like I said, I can think clear. Sometimes I even take a book to read. When I'm going out and walking. I believe when I practice these things, it helps even with job performance. When we take a step away and really practice our self care, I believe we perform better. There at whatever our occupation is. When I take a step back, I'm not as stressed. I believe that it also helps with social, right? My relationships are better because I'm not chewing somebody's head off. I'm not as stressed, whatever the case may be. Uh, it also can help with finances, right? If I'm more productive at work, if I'm able to do daily activities better, maybe pick up a few more responsibilities, whatever it is, because I'm in a better state of being, I believe my finances can increase by that. And so you can see really how all these 8 dimensions are interdependent here. That every aspect, that's what interdependence means. Every aspect of wellness can affect a person's life. And so we can see that just with that one example. And then here we just review again what these 8 dimensions are. And I want us to really be familiar with what these are. As we move forward, we're going to specifically talk about these individually. And so I really want us to know what these are and have a clear understanding of them. And so, again, we can just look at these. We can look at these 8 dimensions and just name them off. So if you read this list with me here, you see emotional, intellectual, occupational, social, financial, physical, spiritual, and environmental. And these are the 8 dimensions of wellness that SAMHSA models after, and that we also do at the R3 Recovery Center. And one of our ideas here at the R3 Recovery Center is to bring wellness to our community, and we believe we can be able to do that by offering our services to the community. And here, like I said at the beginning, is we follow SAMHSA's model here of this vision that they have for people in the community. Uh, and we want to work towards these things, working towards all of these dimensions. One way or another is a great goal because wellness relates directly to the quality of a person's life. And that's what I was beginning with there. I touched on at the beginning was the quality of life, quality of life. And each person, each individual is unique and different. And so we really, when we look at these dimensions, we want to do them at our own pace and our own time and within our own abilities, right? If I haven't exercised in a long time, I don't immediately want to go out there and start running a marathon. I might hurt myself, right? I can pull a hamstring, whatever the case may be. And so we really want to look at our own individual needs and where we're at, and this evaluation that we're going to do. Like I said, I hope that you have a pen and paper ready because we're going to be doing that evaluation today and really examine where we're at with some of these dimensions. And I think it's really going to help us to kind of see where we're at. And so, again, what is wellness? A lot of times when people hear wellness, I know when I first was learning about wellness, I kind of just thought about health, right? We can think about exercise and maybe diet, but wellness is so much more than just exercise and eating right. Though it can fall into these dimensions, it's much more. Wellness is being healthy in many dimensions of our lives. It's about how we live our lives and the joy and fulfillment and health we experience. And so maybe if we're not feeling a lot of joy in our life, maybe if we're not feeling fulfilled or we don't have the health that we want, or just this overall quality of life, it could be that something's missing in one of these dimensions here, one of these 8 dimensions of wellness. And so I just want to touch on these quickly again here about what each one of these mean. What does emotional wellness mean, for instance? Emotional wellness is coping effectively with life and creating satisfying relationships. And so, as we look into these evaluations, we're really going to look at some of these questions and say, okay, how does my emotional wellness look? How does this dimension look about coping effectively with life? How do I deal with problems and stress? How does my relationships look? Am I creating satisfying relationships? And so when we go into these evaluations, that's why a pen or a pencil and a paper will be handy for us because we'll be able to write down which areas we really want to take a look at. Next, we see financial on there. Financial wellness has to do with satisfaction with current and future financial situations. And so we might see that that area needs to be addressed. Maybe there's some things that we could take a look at with our financial wellness. Next is social wellness, and that has to do with developing a sense of connection, belonging, and a well developed support system. And so maybe there's something that there in the social wellness that needs to be addressed. Maybe our support systems aren't as strong as they need to be, or really lacking there. Maybe we don't feel like we have that sense of connection and belonging that we want to have. Maybe there's something there that we can take a look at. Spiritual wellness has to do with expanding our sense of purpose and meaning in life. And so we can look at that one and say, do I feel like my life has a sense of purpose and meaning? If it doesn't, maybe that's an area that we want to really take a look at. Occupational wellness has to do with personal satisfaction and enrichment derived from one's work. So if maybe you're working a job and you're just not feeling that personal satisfaction, you're not feeling enriched, well, maybe that's something that's an area that needs to be looked at. That's occupational wellness. Physical wellness, pretty self-explanatory, but it's recognizing the need for physical activity, diet, sleep, and nutrition. And so there's a lot that goes in there. Physical activity, diet, what we eat, how our sleeping patterns and habits are, and our nutrition. And so physical, it might be an area that it might be concerning there and something to take a look at. Intellectual wellness deals with recognizing creative abilities in finding ways to expand knowledge and skills. And so, maybe there's some hobbies that you might be interested in, or maybe you'd like to learn about and try out. Intellectual wellness can help us to do that. Uh, Lastly, is environmental wellness deals with good health by occupying pleasant, stimulating environments that support well-being. And I've talked about that many a times uh, as I've started teaching about wellness. Is that I like to have a good environment as I'm teaching this course, and a good environment in general. Even at my workplace, I like to practice good environmental wellness by I have some candles that puts out good aroma that supposedly helps with stress, like lavender. The smell of lavender helps with stress and anxiety and things like that. I've looked at lighting there in my office. I like to have good, pleasant lighting. I've read that some uh, UV lights and things like that can add to a person's anxiety and stress levels. And so I've tried to negate that and instead find out what light does work well, does help with well-being. And I even purchased a light there in my office that I hope helps with that. Uh, and then I've mentioned before what I like to do is even the things that whether it's diet or even the things that I drink. I like to drink some tea that can help with my anxiety and stress levels and things like that. And so that can all fall underneath environmental wellness. Those are things I had to learn about and research, and I continue to practice. And so those are the 8 dimensions and a little bit more about them. And we're going to be looking at those really in a lot of detail today, and applying it to our own lives. How these dimensions look in our own lives. And like I said, that's the reason why I asked that everybody have a pencil and a paper and or a pen ready, something to write with and write on, because we're going to be looking at that today. There's just another example that we talked about before, how these are interconnected. And we'll see that as we go along, but that's from last time. So if you're missing some of these, we have these videos on YouTube that you can go back and look at. And I've been teaching wellness now for a couple months, and we've gone over stress and some of these other things, really important aspects and things that enter our lives. We talk about and we touch on. And that's one thing that I've really tried to do with teaching some of these materials, really making it applicable. Not just having the head knowledge, but how do we apply what we're learning, this information, into our lives. And a big part of it, something I talked about earlier today, and something that I'm really taking a look at. I've got a lot of different things going on in life. I've got a lot of things that I'm involved with, and it's important to create balance. There can be times where we just kind of feel like we're just pulled in all these different directions. And that's why, I love, this Wellness Wednesdays where, we can all pause together and really take a look at our lives. Am I, balanced? Do I need to rebalance and adjust? Balance has, really takes a look at making sure that we have time to do the things that makes us feel happy and fulfilled. We really got to look at what things are good for us. Not just what we have to do, not just our responsibilities, but what things are good for us that's going to help us live a quality life. And sometimes things need to be rebalanced and adjusted because we're all unique, and that's important to take a look at these dimensions to kind of see, okay, maybe something does need to be fixed or changed, or maybe I can add something to my life or take something out of my life, whatever it is, because that wheel that we looked at, those 8 dimensions, it's a wheel, it's a wellness wheel, and you don't want to have some area just lacking where you get the bumps in the road, right? It's a wheel; it needs to run smoothly. Our lives need to run smoothly and to be balanced, and wellness helps us to do that. And sometimes it's looking at the manageability of our life, right? What habits do we have? Are they good habits? Are they bad habits? What routines do we have? Whether it's a eating routine, and we might notice that sometimes we're eating at all different times of day. We don't have some of that routine. We're not sleeping well. Maybe we're, all those things I believe have something to do with our wellness. And so if we take a look at these things, maybe we can find different areas that are lacking and that need to be readjusted for balance. And so, we really want to be focused and be self-aware of these things. And I believe by practicing the pause, by looking at our wellness, this can help us to do that, kind of figure out where we're at in life. Uh, and we just got to keep on swimming. So as we go through these things, it's going to be small steps to get where we're going, but we just keep on swimming. And we learn these things about these different dimensions, and we take a look at them, kind of see where we're at here. These are all just different dimensions here. Uh, and so practicing the pause, it can help us to look at these things. It helps us to rest, relax, some downtime, and just see where we're at here with our own wellness and self-care. And you're not alone. You're not alone. What's so good too about the Recovery Center is we're aware of wellness. We're aware of SAMHSA's vision, and we want to help folks to begin practicing wellness. And at the R3 Recovery Center, we give our advice. We share with our experience because we have lived experience, and we can share some suggestions and support. And our doors are open Mondays through Fridays from 9 to 5. And we have peer support specialists, like I said, with lived experience. So we all have our different challenges and have walked through these different challenges in life and are still going through. And but with this wellness, we're mindful of it, and we've been able to look at our own wellness, and hopefully we're practicing some of these different tools that we have and can pass them along, which is good. We got a toolbox, and we can share some of these tools and knowledge that we have to help others. And there's so much joy in that, of helping others. And just know that you're not alone, and that we're all doing this together. We're all on this wellness journey together. And by doing this together, we can discover and build our own confidence, and we can continue to make progress. So uh, maybe if you're out there and you're watching this, and you're in a bad state, you're in a bad place, you're looking at some of these dimensions, and you say, "Wow, I really need some help." Just know that you don't have to do it alone. That we're here for you. There at the R3 Recovery Center, we invite you to come and check out our services. And there are support groups too that really helps. That's something I had to do with my own recovery journey and wellness, is get into a support group, other folks that are faced with some of the same challenges and are working towards solution there. Uh, I can admit that I have a problem, and then go and find the help that I need, and we can do that through support. Doing this with others is just so important. It's so important. You don't have to do this alone. And when we go to those support groups, other folks can even, suggest some things that's helped in their life. We can learn from other people. They can suggest services that they've had or some resources that they've used, and that can help us on our wellness journey, our recovery journey. And so we can find supportive people in many places. And so it's so good to do, is to make these connections with others. And like I said, us there at the R3 Recovery Center, we can help folks to do that, to begin to find some of these resources and make these connections. Just know that you're not alone; that there is support available. And we can also begin learning some new routines and habits. I like what Aristotle said here. You might have heard of Aristotle, that Greek philosopher, lived centuries ago. He said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit." And so we want to begin forming some of these new habits. And a lot of times it starts with our thinking, doesn't it? Sometimes we can uh, demotivate ourselves, saying, I'll never be able to do that, or I just won't have the energy, and tell ourselves we can't, we won't, and all that stuff. But it's by taking those small steps, and I believe connection and support is really vital to do that. You get that encouragement and that motivation from others, and even find out some things that work for them. When we begin on this path, it can seem like we're faced with this huge mountain that we have to climb, but it's just through these small steps these intentional acts that we get to where we're going. And so it's forming these habits, and that's how we get to excellence. We are what we repeatedly do. So we begin learning some of these things. We learn how to live life on life's terms. We begin discovering some of these imbalances in our life, whether it be emotional or social or physical, and we begin establishing these new, healthier habits. We write down some wellness goals. You know, what do we want to see and get out of life? What do some of these changes that we want to make? These slow steps, these small steps to get where we want to go. But know that you're the expert. You know, you're on a tailor-made this wellness program for you. What works well for you? Where do you want to start on this wellness journey? Maybe it's with some exercise or diet, or maybe it's looking at a different job, or maybe even going after some certification there. You know, we can help there at the R3 services with all these things. You know, we can help you get to where you want to go, but it is tailor made. We put the ball back in your court and say, what do you want to do? How can we come alongside and help you get there? And so you are the expert. You're going to tailor made this wellness program for you. What do you want to see? What changes do you want to see in your life? And then if you got questions, ask. We're there, to help you any way we can. Uh, and so just consider what purposeful activities do you have that you're doing right now? What's bringing meaning and purpose to your life? What are some wellness activities that you might currently be doing? Are you getting enough rest? Are you stimulated? Whether it's by intellectual, things that you're learning, or social interaction. We want to look at stimulation. We want to be looking at how we can readjust to some of the circumstances. So there may be some things that's in your life. It's not good, the situation for you. Might not be a good environment. Might not be a good job. Some things that you want to look at that say, hey, some areas in my life need some readjusting. By doing this evaluation here in a few minutes, it might give you some ideas. And like I said, we there at R3 Recovery Center can help you take a look at some of these things. We can do it together, so you're not doing it alone. But right now, if you got the time to do so, maybe you just want to jot down some ideas as we move along here through some of this material. And notice that we want to do a friendly routine. So we want to do it where, like I said, it's based on our own abilities. We want to do on our own pace and time and all that. So we really want to look at our own individual needs here of make it a friendly routine, right? We don't want to chew off more than we can chew or tackle, right? So and then we wanted to learn how to repetition. That's why a lot of times I'll go over this material because I believe by repetition we can learn a lot more, and it's a good way to learn. And so as we go through some of these wellness tools, if we can repeat it, right, we want to make these good habits and new ways of thinking, and by repetition can help us to do that, to embark on this wellness lifestyle. And it is a lifestyle. Wellness is a lifestyle. It's something that we want to be mindful of and work towards each day. So now, are you ready? After that recap, do you have your pen and pencil and paper ready? Right now, we're going to do a wellness self-assessment tool. We're going to see where we're at there with these dimensions, with the little bit of time that we have left here. So you got your pen and paper ready? I hope that you do. First ones we're going to look at here is emotional wellness. Are you ready? Are you excited? All right. On this paper that you have in front of you, first we want to look at here is this this emotional wellness. What does emotional wellness mean? Um, Let me just move this down here. Uh, Emotional wellness is understanding our own feelings and expressing emotions in a constructive way, and having the ability to deal with stress and cope with life challenges. Right now, off the gates, how well are you doing with your ability to deal with stress and cope with life's challenges? Okay, and so the first question I want to ask you, and I want you to put a number next to this, right? So you just write a number one, and then we're gonna go down here, and all you have to do is write a 1, 2, 3, or 4. One is never, two is rarely, three is sometimes, four is usually. So the first question here, next to number one, is I find it easy to express my emotions in positive, constructive ways. Is that true for you? Is that never? Do you struggle with communicating, expressing your emotions in a positive, constructive way? Do you feel like, well, whenever you're going through your emotions, man, you're just you don't communicate, or you don't express it in a positive way, all right? So maybe you feel stressed, man, you're just yelling at somebody, whatever it is, or maybe like I said, you just isolate, you're not communicating. How well are you doing that? Do you find it easy to express your emotions in a positive, constructive way? One is never, two is rarely, three is sometimes, four is usually. So how well are you doing with that? How well are you doing with that? Like I said, this is question number one. Just write a one, two, three, or four. One is never, two is rarely, three is sometimes, four is usually. All right, everybody with me? Everybody got your number next to question number one? All right, let's move on. Question number two. I recognize when I am stressed and take steps to manage my stress. Steps to manage your stress might be exercise or quiet time or meditation, things that we do with Pause with Phil. I recognize when I'm stressed and I take steps to manage my stress. Are you taking steps to manage your stress? Do you recognize when you are stressed? How quick do you recognize your stress and take the steps to manage your stress? One is never, two is rarely, three is sometimes, four is usually. How quick are you to recognize your stress and take the steps to manage your stress? I recognize when I'm stressed and take steps to manage my stress. One, never. Two, rarely. Three, sometimes. Four, usually. All right, everybody got it? Everybody got your number? All right, let's move on. Question number three. I am resilient and can bounce back after a disappointment or problem. Resilience. How resilient are you? Say you just heard some bad news, or and you just ran into a problem. Something happened there, right? You came across something. How quick are you to bounce back after it? One, never. Two, rarely. Three, sometimes. Four, usually. How long do you stay with that problem or disappointment? Do you let it eat up at you all throughout the day? Are you resilient? Can you bounce back after something that's some bad news, disappointment, or problem that you had? How do you do that? Would you give yourself a one, never, two, rarely, three, sometimes, four, usually? All right, everybody got your number? All right, let's move down to number four. Question number four. I'm able to maintain a balance of work, family, friends, and other obligations. Yeah, I'm right there. It's trying to figure out some balance here. I'm trying to stay on this balance beam, right? How well are you for maintaining a balance of these things? Balance of work, family, friends, and other obligations. Are you able to maintain a balance? One, never. Two, rarely. Three, sometimes. Four, usually. Where are you at right now? Like I said, wellness is something that can constantly, can be moving. All right. So it's so good to look at our evaluation and say, okay, where am I at? How's your balance look? One, never. Two, rarely. Three, sometimes. Four, usually. All right. Everybody got a number? I know we're moving through these. All right. Question number five. I am flexible and adapt or adjust to change in a positive way. Ooh, that 5-letter word there. CHANG. 6-letter word. Right. Change. Right? Isn't that right? CHANGE. 6-letter word. Man, change. How do you deal with change? Are you flexible and adapt or adjust to change in a positive way? 6-letter word there, change. Wow. How do we deal with change? Are you flexible and adapt to adjust to change in a positive way? How do you deal with change? One, never. Two, rarely. Three, sometimes. Four, usually. Change. Flexible and adapt or adjust to change in a positive way. All right, question number six. Moving along. Question number 6. I am able to make decisions with minimal stress or worry. Worry. I used to hear that title. Somebody the worry wart. Constantly. And man, I was there. I was there. I felt like I feared. I think I feared change. I feared failure, and I feared success. And so I stayed frozen. I stayed frozen. Uh, and this is all growth. This is wellness. Able to overcome some of these things. It's a process. It's a journey. I'm able to make decisions with minimal stress or worry. How good as a decision maker are you? Do you just kind of stay there and stay frozen and say, I'm not going to pick up the phone because I worry about what somebody might say. I'm not going to take this job because I don't know if I'm qualified or be able to do the job. How good are you about making decisions with minimal stress or worry? 1, never. 2, rarely. 3, sometimes. 4, usually. Give you just a minute there. Think about that one. Number 6. Do you got a number down already? Are you able to make decisions with minimal stress or worry? 1, never. 2, rarely. 3, sometimes. 4, usually. All right. And I think we're going to close with this question. This is just emotional wellness, so we'll come back to some of these other ones. I know we kind of we're short for time, but I feel like if I don't want to move too fast, so I think it'll be good to end on this last question here. Number 7. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Question number 7. When I'm angry, I try to let others know in non-confrontational or non-hurtful ways. Wow. Anger. Anybody else had problems with anger? Man, I did. Growing up, woo. Oh, man. I felt everything. If I felt a certain way, if I felt angry, I needed to fight. I needed to yell. I needed to scream. Whatever it is. Here, we're looking at how to express anger in non-confrontational and non-hurtful ways. So when I'm feeling angry, I don't need to, take it out on others. I need to find a good non-confrontational, non-hurtful ways to get through anger. How do we deal with anger? How do we deal with anger? All right, so let's give this one a number here. Where we're at with anger today, right? Doesn't mean that it can't change. It doesn't mean that it can't be improved. That's why we're looking. That says tailor made. We're each on our own path here. This is for our own benefit. So when you're angry, you try to let others know in non-confrontational, non-hurtful ways. And this is what we've talked about before with stress and some of these other things. So if you haven't checked out these videos in the past, if maybe like I said, you're just now joining, you're just now kind of looking at some of these things, we've got a YouTube channel. You can go and you can look at some of these other videos and this practicing the pause with Phil's in the past. And you can begin looking at some of these areas in your life. And so this is just an evaluation here. How did you do with number 7? Like I said, this isn't, you're not getting a grade, you're not going to get like, A's and B's and C's and D's. You're not going to need demerits or nothing like that. This is for your own personal wellness, something that you're going to be looking at here for yourself. So just kind of see what can be improved on, what can be worked on, and maybe something that you want to receive some help with, whatever it is. When you're angry, do you try to let others know in non-confrontational and non-hurtful ways? Did you put a number next to that? 1, never. 2, rarely. 3, sometimes. 4, usually. And then we just total it up. We put a total down there, and hopefully you have that. And as we move along, I can show you what that means. But save this piece of paper, will you? Will you save this piece of paper? You've got a number down there. We're going to add them up. All right, go ahead and add those up. We're going to put a total down there. And then just right next to that total, put emotional wellness evaluation, or just put emotional wellness, either one. And I want you to keep this somewhere. Hopefully you're getting a lot out of this class, and you're learning some things here. And maybe you want to have like a wellness journal. Maybe you want to begin that. for your own wellness. I've talked about in the past how important it is to write things down. So will you save this? Will you save this piece of paper? Because we want to come back to it and just think about it. If we stay with this, just think about maybe 6 months from now, however long it might be, and you're able to look and you maybe it'll make some changes there. Wow, when I started this, man, I was doing a 1 or maybe a 2, and now up to 3 or 4, whatever it is. And man, this area has really improved in my life. This dimension of wellness has really improved in my life. And this is just one dimension here. This is just one dimension. And like I said, we're going to be again looking at some of these other dimensions as we move along. But like I said, I don't want to get moved too fast or nothing like that. I really want us to have a good understanding of what wellness is and try to practice some of these principles in our life and be able to apply it to our life. So hopefully you enjoyed today. You're glad that you tuned in and that you're looking at your own wellness and self-care, and you begin practicing the pause here on Wellness Wednesdays each week here on Wellness Wednesdays from the R3 Recovery Center from Wilkes Recovery Revolution. Like I said, I am Philip Boyce, a peer support specialist at R3 Recovery Center. And so maybe you'd like to find out a little more information about the R3 Recovery Center. Feel free to do that. You can find out some more information from us. You can visit the WilkesRecoveryRevolution.com. Find out a little bit more about our programs, about how we can help with wellness and your recovery journey, whatever it might be. We're there to help in the community and offer our services. So thanks again for tuning in, that you're concerned with your own self-care and wellness. And I hope that some of the things that you've learned here today is going to help you with that. And make sure that you tune in for next week, because we're going to be looking at some more of these evaluations and some more of these aspects, important information about wellness. So make sure that you tune in. Wellness Wednesdays here from 2 to 3 p.m. Practicing the pause with Phil. Again, I hope that you all have a good rest of the day. And again, tune in next time and make sure you save that sheet. Like I said, we're going to be looking at some of these other dimensions next time. So thanks again for joining in, and hope that you have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.